Thank you for visiting the Coin Series channel again. Which of these options do you prefer? Please people cast your vote in the community option. Option A XRP. Option B Ripple. Option C SEC. I made this video to illustrate why the cryptocurrency market is now going through tremendous growth, since I think a lot of people don't get the potential value that Bitcoin ETFs and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, could bring to the space. We will also discuss the LNR terrorists report, which implies that the SEC might postpone these measures. Come with me as I tell you if I agree with her or not. I also want to talk about the latest news and the spreading SEC complaint in this video. The risk bully, Fred, recently tweeted about how he was feeling. Why has no one spoken about this situation, gentlemen? Fred, after the settlement, Russ Bully discusses it. This is something that you will most certainly find interesting. To kick off this video, I'll briefly address an issue that someone just raised with me. The goal is to use the Lightning Network, so there will be soft music playing in the background as I talk. If you ask many Bitcoin miners, the Lightning Network is all that's needed, and XRP is unnecessary. I'm telling you this because of that. Unfortunately, we have witnessed the Lightning Network's catastrophic failure over the last many months. Many Bitcoin fans believe that the Lightning Network is hopeless and will never work. Because to its extremely centralized nature, low success rate, and pre-funding constraints. Right now, you can see this payment trying to go through the Lightning Network. Global XRP ledger transactions used to take a tiny fraction of a second, but now they take 10 times longer, and that's with all the other stuff happening on the layer. Right now, nothing has transpired in the nearly minute that we have been attempting to submit a Lightning payment. It has been 1 full minute since the transaction began, and I thought you guys might be curious to hear that several Bitcoin miners have said that the Lightning Network is an upgraded version of XRP. Have you ever seen this while attempting to send WADA RP? The answer is clearly no, since XRP possesses inherent characteristics that Bitcoin does not. In this very second, the XRP blockchain is ideal for cross-border money transfers. Well, that's simply how things stand. All hell breaks loose as Bitcoin miners try to concoct the story of how Bitcoin can magically scale to match XRP's capabilities, only better, in terms of efficiency. At this very moment, it is completely failing. My faith in XRP is substantial. So, it is feasible to transfer funds from point A to point B. A blockchain is going to be required in the end. And I think XRP is the greatest blockchain to use for this purpose. Bitcoin, I decided after much deliberation, will always be a great store of value. Some individuals will also continue to use it as a means of global money laundering. Many, however, behave as if Bitcoin were equally potent as XRP. Also, we've proven time and time again that this is not true. I felt it would be beneficial to inform you of that. The main reason is that I am well aware of the Bitcoin Maximus's argumentative prowess and their skill at downplaying XRP's capabilities in favor of the Lightning Network. Their error, however, has been proven time and time again. Even though most members of the Bitcoin community are aware that Lightning Network can't hold a candle to XRP, they're determined to dispel the notion that Bitcoin isn't really a Ponzi scheme nevertheless. I can't stress enough how simple it is, but XRP will remain relevant for the foreseeable future. Furthermore, it is entirely untrue that Bitcoin can do functions that XRP cannot. After some consideration, I am prepared to go on to the following subject, a report on the Ripple SEC case. Can you kindly let me know when there was the last update on this case? We were kept in the dark for a long time. Much like everyone else, I've been wondering when we will hear anything regarding the Ripple SEC case next year. Nothing has happened since Red Dress Bully tweeted earlier today. Not to speak. Please ensure that the damage discovery connection is finalized no later than February 12th. Given the hostile tone of the case so far, I believe the SEC discovery reports should have been sent a week or two before to deadline. If that isn't the situation, then the SEC and Ripple are on cordial terms. Pretty great. Right now, I can only think of 1 or 2 potential outcomes. After the SEC reviews the request for discovery and any other matters that have been delayed because of damages and briefings, the parties may reach an agreement. This procedure might end on April 29 and result in a ruling in early summer. Nearly all of the SEC's objectives would be rendered useless under such circumstances. Considering the number of current legal challenges, is it truly ready to risk yet another huge setback? February 12 and April 29 seem to be the days we should be keeping an eye on moving ahead, which is kind of interesting, especially over the summer, you guys. In essence, the SAIC's intended degree of discovery in this particular instance will shortly become clear. In case someone isn't up to date, here's a reminder. So far, the sole viable alternative has been to sell institutional investors $700 million worth of Ripple coins. The SEC emerged triumphant. Since these XRP institution sales constituted securities, the SEC should have been informed of their registration, according to the judge's opinion, but this is what the SEC says should make Ripple pay them $700 million. Since those purchases were never conducted in the US, Ripple will argue that we were never obligated to record them with you. This indicates that you lack control over them. Additionally, the SEC requires evidence that institutional investors that purchased XRP suffered a loss. Our best guess is that most of these companies were among the first to use XRP, and since then, its value has increased dramatically. What did the SFC gain by being able to call some of the Ripple sales securities offers? It appears that relatively few of the transactions the SEC is currently pursuing in this subject truly come under its jurisdiction. This is the SFC's fundamental challenge. Everyone pay attention, the SEC is in deep trouble because this isn't even within their purview yet and the case is still going on. In reality, there is nothing they can do. Listen up, guys, the SEC has to come out on top. Freegis Bully is bringing this up because he thinks the SEC and Ripple could genuinely come to an agreement. As this litigation continues, the SEC stands to lose even more money and lose their XRP status. The accusations leveled against Brad and Chris in relation to the Bitcoin spot ETF were dismissed. Oh my goodness, if they can't settle, these institutional transactions will cost them a hefty fortune. Take a look at this case update, folks. I don't know what the future holds. However, since we haven't witnessed any back and forth throughout this discovery phase, I'm beginning to wonder if the SEC and Ripple are secretly communicating. Forecasting a settlement in this lawsuit appears to have been incorrect thus far. The SEC is in dire need of this victory, regardless of whether it has been successful thus far. The only way for them to win this case is to settle. Lastly, I'd like to wrap off this video by discussing the Bitcoin spot ETF and the reasons behind my belief that the market is currently experiencing inflation. Eleanor Taran tweeted earlier today that the SRC can choose to postpone the launch of the Bitcoin spot ETF based on how the commission votes. As far as I can tell, the SEC will see to it that none of this is wasted. According to all the major asset managers, the Bitcoin spot ETFs are expected to be approved this week, and then they will be available for trading. You are all aware that these groups have been in contact with the SEC, in fact, almost every one of them has publicly admitted it. Every day, they rehash their plan to deal with the SEC and issue the spot ETF. I have a hunch that it will be put into action this week. Presuming that is how they intend for it to be carried out. Perhaps those discussions with the SEC have already occurred. Also, I don't think we've reached a stage where the vote results are still uncertainty. Therefore, even if Eleanor Tara has only just tweeted this, I do not expect any delay in this undertaking. Fox News wouldn't have the same level of expertise as BlackRock, and LNR doesn't receive any coverage. She gave a wonderful performance. This week's events will be formally announced by these parties in collaboration with the SEC. Their involvement is so blatant that no other explanation can be considered. I find their points of view to be more persuasive. Guys, the fact that Bitcoin's value is skyrocketing right now is also due to people's genuine hope that this will happen. You can see the same likelihood reflected in the market. The question, Michael, is Bitcoin really going to increase in value, is being asked by many. Now seems like a good time to discuss how groundbreaking this will be. Is the price already inclusive of it? According to the Standard Charter's predictions, the market for Bitcoin will receive $50 to $100 billion in incoming capital, and the value of Bitcoin will reach $250,000 by 2025. Earlier today, this data was communicated in a letter. If these are the types of flows, it is not charged at all ounces. Cryptocurrencies will soon be touted by financial advisors as a promising investment option for their customers. $50 to $100 billion must be flowing into this market annually. No amount of speculation can explain it. This market is undergoing a radical transformation. So, it's hard to say what drives financial advisors to be so competitive. Its ultimate objective is to offer its customers an infinite supply of Bitcoin. We are closely monitoring the institutions that are supporting our endeavors, because if our prediction of $50 to $100 billion is correct, we will be able to increase the value of cryptocurrencies. Anyone can speculate as to how much further this thing can progress in the next year. If that's so, I'd say the price is reasonable, but I see this as only the start. On top of that, I believe the demand for these products will outstrip the projections made by these corporations. I hope you had fun reading this update. We are so grateful to have you here today. Do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Catch you later, farewell.